Good evening, my friends. This is Paul, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing a very strange title for the Wii U called Hold Your Fire, a game about responsibility. I have to commend this game's title, Holding Your Fire, a game about responsibility. But the thing is, the game does a very bad job of convincing you to act responsibly. If anything, it kind of will probably invoke reactions of irresponsibility, like, say, breaking the gamepad, swearing like a banshee, having a complex because the game insults you so badly, heck, not even watching this video because you don't like the thumbnail I choose. That's how bad this game does at not excelling at its title. Or maybe it is a metaphor of your reaction of the game itself, that when the game infuriates you, you should hold your fire. Hey, don't get mad at us. Be mad at yourself for stinking. That has to be the dumbest marketing in gaming history, and I've seen some pretty dumb moves made by Nintendo. Thankfully, this was not one of them. This was made by indie developer Alcterios Games, and seeing as I've never heard of anything else they've done, I can kind of see why. The reviews for this game were pretty bad. I'm going to be another one of them, because I played this game for about 25 minutes. There are a handful of things I can say about it that are cool. The Wii U gamepad's really wide horizontal layout means you can see a lot. The game has a fantastic soundtrack, even if it's only one continuously looping song. It's sort of like a mix of orchestra, electric guitar, and like the kind of thing you might hear at a Kraftwerk concert. Yet it never gets old. If it was possible that I could just listen to that song without playing the game, that'd be a super cool thing to have. Alas, that's about where the good stuff ends, because your objective is that you're controlling the ship Galaga style, where you move left and right as the screen automatically scrolls downward toward you. Now, in normal Galaga games, it's common sense that you shoot a ship when you see it, right? Well, if you try to do that, then you die. That's right, you don't get a health bar, you just die. And every time you die, you get a message from Star Command that tells you not only that you died, but also how your death is overblown and over the top. Like, for example, if you run into another ship, it says, "Your death has been broadcast on a hologram for future driver's ed courses as an example for how others can benefit from your lack of safety." What? I'm sorry if I just caused anyone to have a complex, but there are 9 of these types of death to be found. And just to add insult to injury, the game has a counter of how many deaths you've managed to obtain. So, how do you beat this game then? You can't. That's the other problem. You keep getting ships scrolling past you that you have to deliberately train your trigger finger not to hit. But then there are ships that, like, actually do fire, but they don't fire directly at you, they just fire in a straight line. So you think, okay, zoom past their bullet, shoot them. But the hit collection is so lousy that sometimes even when the bullet was behind me, I'd still get hit because I was just barely nicking it with the pixels. Or I'd try to move over quickly, but I'd be using the control pad so it wouldn't, so then I'd switch to the stick, and then it would be too responsive, so I'd end up running into enemy fire that I surely would have avoided had I been playing any other game. Not only that, but if the ship gets past you, then the Star Command terminates you for allowing the planet to be destroyed. I don't think anyone's likely going to push themselves to get too high of a score. My high score was 10. And I know that seems really awful in most video games, but in Hold Your Fire, you only get 1 stinking point for destroying a ship. So that means to get a high score of 10, you have to destroy 10 ships. And that might not sound like a bad concept, but it takes a really long time for the enemy ships to show up. In fact, sometimes it took like upwards of over a minute before I'd actually have to fire. Sometimes they'd appear all at once, but other times they'd be so spread out that I'd be like, come on, please, 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 just let me get a high score of 10. Yeah, that's right. When I started praying and begging that God would allow me to get a high score of 10, you know that this game is struggling to keep up. Speaking of which, the frame rate is absolutely horrendous in this game. Now, it could have just been because I played it on the gamepad only, but considering how many other problems this game has, I highly doubt it. Basically, the game kind of like flickers a lot, and sometimes it'll like flicker other ships into your view. I don't think it ever like was a detriment to the game, but it definitely felt kind of disjointed when I was trying to move and avoid things. Which, strangely, there are planets that you can fly by, but yet you can't shoot the planets. You just fly over them. But yet if a ship gets past you, they're responsible for destroying a planet. So there's even more inconsistency. Graphically, all you're looking at are really a bunch of stars, ships, and planets, so it's not much of a looker. And, even worse, if you try to rapidly tap the A button in Instinct because you're tired of those same old tutorial messages that you see at the start of every single Wii game to put on the wrist strap, well, guess what? Your ship always starts at the center of the screen, so you're gonna shoot an innocent ship because it's positioned in the center of the screen, despite the fact that the rest of the game is randomly generated, but that one ship happens to be in the center. And you get an immediate game over just because you wanted the game to hurry up and get on with it. Even though it's not that technically impressive. This could have been on the regular DS or even the Game Boy Advance, and no one would have been able to tell the difference. How this managed to make it on the Wii U eShop, even for its low initial price of $2, is absolutely beyond me. I cannot recommend this game to anyone. Like, even if you have a gift card and can't figure out what to spend it on, do not get this game. In fact, do yourself a favor and just simply look up the 9 types of deaths if you're the non-sensitive type and want to laugh. But don't subject yourself to the boredom and mediocrity of this completely forgettable non-shooter, if that can even be a genre. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, keep the faith, stay epic, and God bless. Bye.